Children, the ninth standard history lesson we began with Indus Valley civilization from 2100 BC onwards. We mainly discussed about the archaeological sources of Indus Valley civilization. We know that there are no much literary sources why script is not deciphered. Okay. So mainly depending upon all the archaeological sources, we learned about the important features like important cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, important features of the cities, their town planning, all these we have discussed. Okay, decline of Indus Valley civilization. Then we discuss Vedic period. It exists from 1500 BC onwards, and Vedic period, mainly we depend upon literary sources. Which are the four important literary sources like Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharvaveda. These are considered as the holy book of Hindus. And then Ramayana and Mahabharata. These are written around 1000 BC. Clear? So we discuss based on these sources. We have studied the important features and developments and the events of the period. Next, what we have to discuss, we have also discussed about Buddhism and Jainism that existed around 500 BC. Okay. Then the next topic what we have to discuss is that Mauryan Empire. We are going to discuss in detail about Mauryan Empire. It was not only the first empire in Indian history, it was truly the great empire. It was also one of the great empire in the world history. When we look at the period around 500 BC, we see the establishment of Jainism and Buddhism in Indian history. Particularly, Buddha's life had a great impact on Indian history. We can see his life and teachings were roughly 150 to 200 years before existed. That means this religion came into existence before the establishment of 200 or 150 years. But even after that many years, it could make a great impact on Mauryan history. Let's see how the Indian subcontinent looked like near the end of the 4th century BC. During this period, most of North India was controlled by Nanda Empire, which had its capital at Pataliputra. You see Pataliputra here. This is Pataliputra. The ancient name of Patna is Pataliputra. Okay, the present name is Patna. And other than this Nanda Empire, you can also see many other kingdoms like Kalinga. This is Kalinga. This is the present region of Orissa. You know that, isn't it? So Kalinga was there, another kingdom. And in South India, we can see the famous kingdom like Chola, Chera and Pandya. Okay, so these were, so this was the political map of the 4th century BC India. Now you see here, see the real, so this is Mauryan Empire. Okay, so Nanda dynasty was later on established as the Great Mauryan Empire. We are going to discuss the establishment of Mauryan Empire. Alexander was the great ruler who came to be known as the conqueror of the world. He was the ruler of Greek and he extended his empire after conquering many regions. And his ambition was to conquer the new geographical region. So after conquering many regions, he was attracted towards India. Then he reached the northwestern part of the country. You can see the northwestern side. There he defeated many of the local rulers of northwestern part of the country. Why? Because many of them, they did not even fight against Alexander. They simply surrendered to Alexander. But there was only one ruler who fought against Alexander. You must be knowing his name. He is Porus. But Porus was also defeated. But seeing his courage, he returned his kingdom, which is captured from Porus. And he stayed there for 19 months and he wanted to conquer India. Okay, but he never started. Children, he never conquered India. Why? Because his soldiers were very much tired. They wanted to go back. They felt homesick. So they returned to their home. But before returning, Alexander gave all his conquered territory to his governor general. One of the most important governor general was Seleucus Nicator. So it was at that time, you can see the Nanda dynasty. Okay, there was a great minister, one of the great minister who appointed as the minister of Nanda dynasty was Chanakya. And the ruler of Nanda dynasty, the last ruler of Nanda dynasty, you can see here Magadha Empire. This Magadha Empire only grew as Nanda dynasty later. Okay, so last ruler of Nanda dynasty was Dhanananda, and he was a very corrupted ruler. Okay, he did not do anything for the welfare of the people of Nanda dynasty. So they approached their great minister, trustworthy minister, and conveyed their problem. Then Chanakya advised Nanda, but he was humiliated among the members of the court, and even sent him out of the empire, saying that I know myself how to run the administration. Then this was a great humiliation for Chanakya, and then he went to the region Taxila. You can see Taxila here. There he met a small boy, and Chanakya, he was attracted by the courage and nature of this small boy, and he started training this small boy. And he even, so it is a time that you know that Alexander's army, that means I told you he conquered many of the northwestern region. You can see this region, all these reddish color. Okay, from here up to here he conquered. So his army was there. So he asked to join with Alexander's army and learn the techniques. So Chandragupta joined with Alexander's army and learned many techniques. He became a very talented or brave soldier. And then later on, when Alexander's army left, and who also grew, Chandragupta also grew as a courageous ruler, and he overthrew Nanda dynasty. He also defeated whom you know, Seleucus Nicator. So Seleucus Nicator was the governor general of Alexander, and he conquered all those northwestern side which was already conquered by Alexander from the hand of Seleucus Nicator, and he established a great kingdom. You can see here Chandragupta, and so that he established a great kingdom, Mauryan Empire. So who is known as the founder of Mauryan Empire? Chandragupta Maurya. Let me clear this point again. Chandragupta emerged as a great ruler, and the person who made him such a renowned king of Mauryan Empire was Chanakya, who is also known as Kautilya or Vishnugupta. He established Mauryan Empire after conquering which region? Nanda Empire. You see, Nanda Empire was located somewhere else. This region, Nanda Empire, you see somewhat here. Okay, I showed you number of times. Nanda Empire. Then after conquering the Nanda region, he also defeated the northwestern part of the country, and he established a large kingdom. Clear? And who were the important rulers? The founder of Mauryan Empire was Chandragupta Maurya, and then his son, the second ruler of Mauryan Empire was Bindusara, the son of Chandragupta Maurya, and the third most important ruler of Mauryan Empire was Ashoka the Great. He was the son of Bindusara. Okay, let's see their territories. You can see here, there the color of darkish yellow color, that is the region which is extending from here to this many region. Okay, these were the region which came under Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta captured this many region, and his son Bindusar again extended the kingdom, conquering all these regions. See, up to south, you can see up to Karnataka, you see all these regions. So you see the extension of Mauryan Empire. Again, the third ruler, Ashoka's period, only Kalinga was not the part of Mauryan Empire. So he took the effort of conquering Mauryan Empire. You see the Kalinga. So they held a Kalinga war during the period of Ashoka, and you see all these regions became the part of the Mauryan Empire. So it includes the Mauryan Empire is such a vast and great empire which ever established in India. You can say that it is more than 50% of the size in size. It is more than 50% of present day India. It includes the modern day of Pakistan and Afghanistan. So children, you understood about Mauryan Empire. Now we go through the lesson discussing the important points. See that sources of Mauryan Empire. Which are the two important sources of Mauryan Empire? They are, you see, any sources can be classified into literary sources and archaeological sources. Literary sources means all the written sources, information. So one of the important literary sources is that Kautilya's Arthashastra. Arthashastra is a book which is written on the topic politics, all about politics. That means how the king should be, what kind of relation he should maintain between the people, and what are the responsibility of a person, individual. So many things are mentioned, which are the laws, or discussing about all the laws which are enforced in the kingdom, all these. Okay, so it's completely a book on polity. So Arthashastra of Kautilya, it is giving what is the importance of this book? It gives us a lot of knowledge about the Mauryan period. And the next important source is the Intika. Who has written Intika? It is written by Megasthenes. So Megasthenes, who was Megasthenes? He was an ambassador of Chandragupta's court. He was sent by one of the Greek ruler. So he stayed here and he has written all the details of Chandragupta's period during his stay of his time in India. So these are the two important literary sources of Mauryan period. They are the what is that? Arthashastra of Kautilya and Intika of Megasthenes. Next we have to discuss the archaeological sources. So next important source we have to discuss is that archaeological sources. First we discuss the literary sources, and second source is that archaeological sources. What is that? We have to study about edicts of Ashoka. Edicts of Ashoka means writing of Ashokas on the orders which are issued by Ashokas are written on rocks and pillars. These are known as edicts of Ashoka. Mainly there are 14 major rock edicts and 7 minor pillar edicts. Rock edicts means writing on rocks, like even now these are available. Since these are written on hard surface, there are no damages, like, okay. So there are number of rock edicts are there. Out of that, 14 are major rock edicts which are providing some very important message about or information about Ashoka's period. Then there are also 7 minor pillar edicts. Pillar edict means writing on inscription, writing on pillars. So writing on any hard surface are known as inscriptions. Clear? So these are all the inscriptions. So edicts of Ashoka. Clear for you? So you see, I have marked the question answer. SA1 here means what? Answer question 1. Which are the sources of Mauryan period? One question is there. So that you have to start writing from literary source to archaeological sources. Clear? Then only answer can be complete. Then second question answer was there in first page only. I had marked. You should go through when you watch video and underline. Okay, mark down. But when you mark, you don't have to mark everything so elaborate. Only the points, main points you underline and study. I have explained in many videos, 2-3 videos, how to mark down the question answer and all. Hereafter that procedure will not be followed since you got some idea. Okay. Then what is the next question is that what is the importance of Ashoka series? We have marked here. Then what is Stupa? So another thing we have to do. Second important archaeological source is that Sanchi Stupa is one of the most important archaeological source. It is the construction work is started by Ashoka, then it is completed later. Okay, so Ashoka only started the construction work of Sanchi Stupa. He only built, we can say. So this is Sanchi Stupa. Okay, it is a dome-like structure. What is the importance is that Buddha's mortal remains. Mortal remains means like nails, teeth and all, no, such kind of materials are collected and kept in a decorated box that is called casket. So it is kept in a decorated box, and that is placed in the middle hall of this stupa. Okay, so actually it is constructed for the memory of Buddha, and it is a mortal remains of Buddha is kept in this stupa. Okay, so this is the importance of Sanchi stupa. You see, in the study material there are picture based questions are there given. Study material you go through, so you will get maximum questions related to Sanchi stupa. Okay, when the sources are asked, you have to also mention about Sanchi stupa. Okay, clear. Next, we have to discuss the political history of Mauryan Empire. It's already discussed very detailed in the beginning only. So hereafter again, I am not discussing. You go through, read the lesson properly. So Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan Empire, and what happened to him and all I have discussed in the video. Okay, so he was with the support of Chanakya. He came to the power. And then he captured many regions, including northwestern side of, that means the region which was captured by Alexander. Later on he captured from Seleucus. So like that he extended his kingdom, like which are the region like Herat, Kandahar, Baluchistan and Kabul. All these, they means present day Afghanistan, Pakistan, all these region had come under the control of Chandragupta Maurya. So underline main points. Okay, then Bindusara, when we discuss, he is the son of Chandragupta Maurya, and he is known as slayer of foes. That means he had no enemy, like he was the killer of all the enemies. Like this also shows that he had preserved the kingdom of Chandragupta Maurya. Again, even extended the Mauryan Empire into the central India, like Deccan region and all were defeated by Bindusara. Okay, the next comes Ashoka. He is known as Ashoka the Great. Why he changed the Indian history, we can say. Why? Because he fought Kalinga war. Because you found that in the map you find Kalinga was not the only kingdom which was not. Kalinga means, why he targeted Kalinga means what? It is a key point that where they can reach the seaport of Orissa region, Kalinga region. Okay, so but Kalinga was not under their control, so he wanted to capture Kalinga, but Kalinga ruler opposed very strongly. So there took place a fearful war, and in that war Ashoka succeeded the war, but seeing the battlefield he changed his mind because it was horrific. Okay, full of bloodshed. So he took the vow that hereafter I will not fight any war. So he became the follower of Buddhism. So then he started spreading Buddhism all over India. Okay, this is the importance of Kalinga war. So you have to study the importance of Kalinga war. It is given in the textbook what impact it had brought about into the personal life of Ashoka. Those points you have to see from the textbook and study. Children, see this consequences of Kalinga war. You see personal life, what it has brought. Point wise it is given, point number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this you have to by heart. It is there in the means question may be asked in the semester examination. Clear? Children, let's go through very fast to these questions answer. See that state any two sources of information. In the beginning only it is written Arthashastra of Kautilya and Indika of Megasthenes. Then who wrote Arthashastra, that you understood. What is the importance of Ashoka's edict, that is already marked when we discuss about edict, that is there in the page. You must have seen when I discussed the video. And then this is what next is that how did Chandragupta Maurya establish the Mauryan dynasty? That is there, that Chandragupta Maurya's, you see, that paragraph it is there. Chandragupta was the founder of the Mauryan empire. He met Kautilya at Takshashila, then Kautilya later became the, then you can write what is after a long series of battle with Chandragupta, Nanda capital at Pataliputra fell. That means he overthrew Nanda dynasty. Then Alexander the Greek ruler conquered many states in northwestern part of India. After his death, his territories in Indian subcontinent were taken over by Chandragupta Maurya. With the help of Chanakya, he established the kingdom. Then you can also mention that what is that like, but according to the treaty signed with Seleucus, Chandragupta got Kabul, Kandahar, Herat and Baluchistan from Greek commander. Then what? Chandragupta's empire extended from Kabul at Kandahar in the northwest to Mysore in the south, and from Bengal in the east to Saurashtra in the west. So this means point you can just write as a conclusion, like, okay, in short. Okay, then next is what is the importance of Kalinga war in the personal life? Already I shown you there in the video that answer. Then what was the impact of Ashoka's embracing the policy of Dhamma Gosha is there, that is Ashoka's Dhamma. It is there in the textbook. Ashoka's Dhamma, towards the end, the last of the chapter, last page of this chapter, it is there that we have not discussed Ashoka's Dhamma. What is Ashoka's Dhamma? You know, Ashoka, once he accepted Buddhism, after that he started spreading the Buddhist principles all over the world, Buddhist values. But his idea was not that means what is that enforcing the Buddhism among the people, but his Dhamma was means a kind of moral values which are to be followed by all the individuals of the empire. So that was the idea of his Ashoka's Dhamma. So principles of Ashoka's Dhamma, impact of Dhamma of Ashoka, all these things are given in the last page. Children, please go through it and underline Ashoka's Dhamma. That first paragraph, Ashoka's Dhamma, only the answer you have to write here. Then what is the name? The two taxes mentioned, which are they? Bhaga and Beli. How did king keep himself abreast with the whatever was happening in his kingdom? That means what is through the spices. This and all not there. We have not discussing this. What is that? Mauryan administration, that is not there. Okay. Then two officials who assisted the king, and these are not there. Okay. What is meant by Ashoka Dhamma? You have to learn from last part of the chapter. Okay. Then give the basic principles of them, that is also given in last. What was the impact of Dhamma on? That is also given. Then structured question, Arthashastra is there, Sanchi, Subha, Intiga. Then second question, give a brief account of Chandragupta establishment. That only I said, political history of Chandragupta. All that event you have to mention. Then give a brief account of Kalinga war. That is also given, Kalinga war in the textbook. Then name 4 important ways in which Buddhism spread under the what is that, royal power of Mauryan. Means this is not there in the textbook. You don't have to study also that question answer. Okay, children, I am winding up. So I hope that you have followed the chapter. Please read it following the video. First you follow the video and read it. Then you find out the answers.